Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our second day of our first session of our virtual pre-departure session today. Thank you so much for joining. We've got wonderful speakers today who I'm going to introduce to you. We've got Emma here, who is going to speak about our orientation section for today. She's from the Student Welcome Engagement and Events team. And we've also got three of our wonderful international student advisors, David, Cameron, and Ginny, who will be presenting after Emma. So thank you so much for joining. We're going to have other sessions run throughout the day as well. This is the first of them about orientation and how our international student advisors support our students throughout their journey when they start with the University of Tasmania. So it's a really good session to listen to. We are going to have an open Q&A session towards the end for about 15 minutes. Please feel free to pop through any questions you have throughout the presentation, and we will moderate them as we go. I will pass it on to Emma to start off the presentation.
Lovely, thanks very much, Mona. Hi, everybody. Look, we know that the world has dramatically changed over the last 6 months, and so is the way that we're approaching welcome and orientation for the University of Tasmania for semester 2 intake. We've created a really dynamic and engaging online experience that will assist new students, no matter where you're connecting with us from, to transition to the university with confidence and the skills to succeed. In terms of what we have put together for our students, we're trying to make it really, really simple. So we've created a website called the First Steps website that houses all of the information that introduces students to what they should do before starting university, as well as how they should actually get involved in orientation. So the First Steps website is absolutely a place that I would encourage everybody to explore, whether you're looking to start with us straight away or in the future. It gives you a really good guide as to what's on offer to support that transition. We've also created an orientation unit that really guides you through the process of I guess enrolling, working through key systems and preparing for semester, as well as making connections with staff and students. So we really recommend students work through that, and we've done a particular nuanced version for the international students as well. So we're really looking at opportunities for you to focus on adjusting to language and culture, the introduction of dedicated international student support, information about visa conditions and overseas health cover for any onshore students, as well as working while studying again for any onshore students. So again, a really valuable resource that I would encourage everybody to work through. The second key resource that we have developed is our UniStart unit. Now, this is a deeper dive. So the orientation unit is a light touch. It probably could take you about take you about an hour to complete the whole thing, whereas the UniStart International is a much deeper dive into the introduction to the university around things like study and learning effectively at UTAS, so planning and strategizing. It looks at things like getting started with assignments, so looking at purpose, tasks, research, planning and group assignments. You can also further explore things like developing your English language skills and communication skills, specifically from a university perspective. We also go into how to research and avoid plagiarism, and again looking at that ongoing support that students who are joining our community can connect into. And all of this is self-paced learning, but it's underpinned by a very supportive team so that you can ask questions and get feedback as you work through these modules. Mona, I might get you to just go back to the first slide there for me. Thank you very much. That's perfect. That's perfect. So those 4 things that I've just talked about are really what we encourage students to do before we even reach orientation week. So this information is all available to you now, and as long as you're enrolled, then you can connect through the First Steps website into Milo and have access to that suite of resources. The second step in the way that we introduce students to the University of Tasmania in particular, is really around the involvement in our orientation week. So orientation week runs from the 6th of July through to the 10th of July, and this is really where we start asking students to connect with their colleges. So this is the degree or the course that you'll be studying with. So this is where, again, we run a series of online webinars where you can be introduced to that study. You can be introduced to your teachers and lecturers and so on, so that you know what to expect come day 1 of semester 1. We also scaffold these live sessions with a number of online learning webinars and support. You might like to connect in from a social perspective as well. So it's going to be a really vibrant week with lots and lots happening, so that you can tap into all of the resources, social activities, learning support specialists that go along with university study. So we will be launching the orientation program this Friday, the 19th, so that will again all be available on the First Steps website for you to become familiar with, plan ahead, and then know what to be involved in come orientation week. Thank you so much. And back to you, Mona.
Fantastic. Thanks, Emma. That was great. And if anyone has any questions about orientation, please start popping them through. I'll pass it on to one of our international student advisors to start their presentation.
Thanks, Emma, and thanks, Mona. Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron, and I'm one of the international student advisors at the university. I am located in Hobart, the southern end of Tasmania. I will just quickly explain about our role and how we help international students. So we help all international students. We're here for you. If you're studying an English language course, a degree, or doing your research here, we're here for you from the moment you start right up until you graduate. Some of you may experience some challenges along the way, and you'll be faced with trying to overcome them, but you're not alone and you're not without support. If you have a question, or if you don't understand something, if you're worried about something, or if you have a personal situation that's affecting your study, like maybe your health or your financial situation, for an example, please do contact us. We'll listen to your concerns. We'll talk about options available to you. We're here to help you. And if required, we can also get you in touch with other services to help you, either within the university or out in the community. You can contact us by email, but most importantly, you can book an appointment to talk to us over the phone or just like this, online, face-to-face. I'll just hand over to another member of our team.
Hi everyone, my name's Ginny and I'm the International Student Advisor on the Launceston campus, so up in the north of Tasmania. As Cameron said, we're here to help students in a whole range of different situations, and I thought I might just share with you a recent situation where I was able to support an international student to negotiate some consideration with her assignment submission. So as you all are aware, COVID-19 has had a huge impact on the way that we now study and we are now presenting our teaching. So one of our students came to me because she was concerned about her visa. Her visa is going to be expiring in August, and she was worried that she might not be able to complete her studies by the time her visa expires. I initially thought her concerns were just about her visa, but in talking to her, it became clear that a lot of disruption had happened to her studies in this semester, and as a result, she was not coping very well, and she had been too shy to talk to her lecturers, and so they were unaware that she was struggling and was very stressed. So with her permission, I spoke with her unit coordinators and her teachers, and together we've managed to put together a really great support plan to help her complete her studies. So she's meeting every second day with her lecturers, and she'll be able to submit all of her assessment tasks in time to graduate this semester and to be able to meet her visa conditions. So simple little problem initially, but actually was quite a complicated one, but we were able to help her come to a really good solution. So that's just one of the things that an international student advisor can help with. Hand over now to my colleague David.
Thank you, Ginny. I'm David, and I'm based on the Hobart campus with Cameron, and there's another member of our team who didn't join us today. As Ginny said, there's all kinds of things that we can help students work out, and it's really good to remember that it doesn't have to be when you're a new student. It's easy to think that only new students will have questions, only new students will find challenges, but as you could see from Ginny's example, that was a student who was nearly graduating, and she'd been managing really well up until that point, and so had never had to get in touch. And it doesn't matter where you are in your studies, challenges can come up at any time. You should always feel very comfortable to talk to the international student advisors about any questions, any difficulties you have. But we are not the only people you can talk to, because some of you would have joined the session yesterday where some of our experienced students were talking about their life as a student here at the University of Tasmania. We have a team of students working with us called our International Peer Leaders. And Mona, if you could just move on to the next slide. This is another group that you can actually talk to who are current students, international students who have made the transition to life in Tasmania, but also life as a successful international student here. And they are really happy to share their experience to help you work through challenges that you are facing, maybe especially when you are new and making the adjustment to life as a student, but also just like us, anytime throughout your experience and your journey as a student, they'll focus on all the normal things in life that sometimes we don't really know how to ask or who to talk to. And just like the international student advisors, the international peer leaders are available face-to-face, through video, through regular drop-in times, especially once we're operating back on campus, but also all through this semester, this coming semester, they'll be available through their Facebook page and very quick to give you advice, help listen to you, and help connect you with us or other services as you need. So if there's one message that we really want students to remember, you'll hear this again when you join orientation, if you're in our session. The message is ask for help. If it's a small thing or a big thing, it doesn't matter. Don't be shy about contacting us and asking if you don't know something or if you think something isn't going very well. Once we know that you're looking for some help, there's lots of options to help you. Thank you. Now we're really happy to hear any questions you have. Is there anything, Cameron or Ginny, that you want to add though before we hand over?
I think the main thing is that just to constantly remember that we really do care about all of our students, and we care about what happens to you. we are here to help. We'll keep saying that all the time, here to help. And I think it's also important to remember that we've all had a really broad range of experiences. Most of us have lived and worked overseas, so we understand what it is like to go to a new, to try to become comfortable in a new culture. Even just, you know, going shopping in a different country can be quite confronting. We've all been through that experience, so we do understand what it's like, and we really are here to help you.
Thanks, guys. That was really, really short and sweet. I think it's really important that students are aware of the services available of international student advisors. You know, working from, being from the international recruitment team, you know, there's so many things, and just students who are listening, broad range of skills that our international student advisors have. I guess I like to think of you guys as a first point of contact for current students. If they're not sure as to what direction to take, or if they have any questions, not sure who to go to, you guys definitely would be the first point of contact that they can come to you and, you know, ask the question. At least it might be a situation different to what they thought. So, and Jenny's example was perfect, you know. So feel free, guys, to start putting through any of your questions. I've actually got one for you, Emma. Can you just clarify, if possible, for the audience? Someone had a question saying, so the orientation program, will it be available on the 19th of June on the website?
Yes, that's right. So it'll be available on the First Steps website on the 19th of June, so that you can make your plans for the week commencing the 6th of July.
Fantastic. And I guess in terms of orientation, can you clarify, Emma, for the audience, you know, is it compulsory for students to attend the webinar at all?
Look, we don't say that it's compulsory, but it is highly encouraged, and I'd almost say expected. We know that from all of the research and all of the experience that our students have, that by attending orientation and participating in all of the welcome activities set students up for success. It allows them to get a really solid baseline for transitioning into university. So I'll use the example of our orientation unit. So that is available for anybody who's enrolled at the university to jump into and participate in. It means that by jumping into this unit and experiencing the content within the unit, you're going to be familiarising yourself with university systems, with university lingo. So you might be getting familiar with, you know, the Milo website. So this is where you'll be doing the main source of your learning. So becoming familiar in that space, using the discussion boards, navigating the content. This is why we've done an orientation unit that is housed in this site. So inadvertently, as you're learning and experiencing what university is like, you're preparing yourself so that come day one of semester, you've actually got a little bit of confidence behind you to actually participate in the discussion boards and navigate the particular I guess, intricacies of the webinar series and so on that you're participating in. So I think it's really about setting yourself up for the best start that you can give yourself.
That's amazing, Emma. Thank you. I am actually getting a few questions coming in, which is great. So yeah, please feel free, guys, to send through your questions. We are moderating them behind the scenes. I guess I will ask this question, Cameron, maybe to you. So someone's asked, what is the timing that we can contact international student advisors? We also had another question around that. So I guess, how can students contact you guys if they need anything? And is it face-to-face right now, or etc.?
Okay, thank you. Well, we can be reached via email at any time from now. If we go back, maybe you could go back to our slide there, Mona, just to remind everyone our email address.
Sure.
Yeah. So especially if you've accept your offer and are getting prepared to commence, have questions about orientation or starting your degree, got any worries or concerns, more than happy. Yes, please do contact us. We'll answer your question. Or, and we can also refer you to other teams if it's more relevant for them to answer your question. And we're working from home, so we're still accessible for all our students. We're bookable by phone, so we can talk to a student over the phone or online, face to face.
And it doesn't matter where they are, even in your home country,
absolutely not.
you.
Wherever you are around the world, we are accessible. As long as you've got a stable internet connection, you can.
And that's right. Everything is online these days, isn't it?
Yes.
We had while I have the international student advisors on here, so maybe David, someone's asking, is there any other way to get the international groups, because Facebook is shut down in many accounts, so I guess some countries may have restrictions. Is there any comment on that one, David?
So yes, we are aware that not everybody has access to Facebook. The international peer leaders have looked at different options. At the moment, that's all they have, but it's also possible to contact them by email. I think their slide might not have had their email address, but that's okay. You can always contact us for advice and information on how to get in touch with other students, particularly if you can't use Facebook. So there are options, yes.
Fantastic. There is a very general question. Maybe Ginny, I could post this one to you. It's a very general question about, is it going to be possible to come to Australia this July or this semester? Which is a very common question we've been getting throughout our series. So if you want to maybe have a comment on two or that.
I'm happy to comment on it. Unfortunately, we can't say anything definitive at the moment. Everything is very fluid currently, but the borders for Australia are closed for anybody who is not a citizen or a permanent resident at the moment. So we are just, like students, we are waiting to find out what's happening. We would love to see students face-to-face on campus again. I think even though we may enjoy working from home, we are really missing that contact with our students, and we are looking forward to welcoming students who are commencing. But all we can say to people at the moment is just keep watching the news, check the Australian immigration website, because they're updating their information there all the time. If you're currently in Australia, you can find out about coming to Tasmania. You would have to go into quarantine though for 14 days if you are going to make the move down to Tasmania. But in terms of actually travelling to Australia, sorry, we are unable to confirm what's happening in that space at the moment.
Thanks, Ginny. And yeah, so it is a really tricky situation. I mean, just wanting to let students know we are all in the same boat. We go by state government advice as well. So we will try and have a link of our state government COVID-19 page up on our landing page after the sessions are done. So you can have a look on there to check out the latest advice, and that's what the university goes by as well. I had a question for David. I'm not getting too many questions coming in. So guys, if there's any questions, please feel free to pop them on. We still got a bit of time. But maybe David, since you spoke about peer leaders, I had a question for you. So if a student is interested in becoming a peer leader, how do they go about that?
That's actually a really great question, because it's not just our international peer leaders. We have a range of roles that senior students are able to apply for. It's essentially, once you have completed at least one semester, usually 1 year, but it can be one semester of your course, and done well, and you will be able to apply for any of the peer roles, which might be our international one. It might be helping students with study skills. It might be with job-related skills, different areas. We've got a whole team that work with social events as well, the student engagement leaders. And essentially, you just have to be a good student, work hard, and you'll go through a normal job application process. And a lot of our students do get into those roles, usually for a year, sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more. And it's a really good way to help other students, but at the same time build your experience in a real job because you're employed by the university for that period.
And that's fantastic. I think that shows that students are not just set into, you know, normal casual roles. It is quite diverse, and on a resume that would look fantastic. I wish I had known that when I was a student. That sounds amazing. So no, that's really good, guys. I'm just waiting to see if there's any other questions, but I don't think so, because I think you guys were super clear on everything. Once again, guys, our international student advisors are here to support you. Even though if you're starting online, it's not a problem. You can contact them using the contact details on the slide at the moment. There were a few questions on that coming through before, and they will help you throughout your student journey from start to end. So please feel free to make sure you use that opportunity to ask any questions, and the recruitment team are here to help you as well. If you have any questions about your application process or how to accept your offer, etc., we're actually having an admissions session towards the end of the day. If there's a few admissions questions coming through, so please feel free to log on to that session later on. But I just wanted to thank you guys. We don't seem to be getting any more questions in, but thank you, Emma, David, Ginny, and Cameron, for your time today. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was great to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.